It is Wednesday, October 11, and this is the Barbados Today Evening News Update. I am Mary Claire Williams. Our top story, Home Affairs Minister Adriel Brathwaite says he's ready to sit down with the island's fire chief to address issues facing the essential service. Barbados Today understands that a significant number of officers are on certified sick leave, and this has compromised operations at the island's 5 fire stations. There are reports that officers are disgruntled about several issues, including complaints that personnel who were recently on duty in Dominica were scheduled to work on the same day without any rest time or debriefing. Brathwaite told reporters today that he intends to get to the bottom of the matter.
I'm told that there were some discussions with the Fire Officers Association, and somewhere along the line there's been a breakdown in communication. I don't want to get into he say, she say, etc. Suffice to say that there seems to be a bit of a breakdown in communication, and one matter has not been linked to other matters. For example, I'm advised there was an issue of one officer taking the truck out for about 7 hours and no one knowing where he was with the truck, etc. So these matters have been mixed. Here's my take. The fire officers who went to Dominica went beyond the call of duty. They weren't sent. These guys put their hands up and say, we are willing to go to put our lives on the line for our brothers and sisters in Dominica. As such, as a government and as a people, we should do whatever is required to ensure that their health and safety is at the maximum. If they require some additional time off, I will ensure as minister that it is done. If they require counseling or anything like that, I will ensure that as minister that it is done. This is not a difficult matter. This matter should not be contentious at all. So I'm not sure why it has become contentious. But I assure you that when I leave here, that I will make my way to sit down with the fire chief and get to the bottom of it. Because, I repeat, it should not be a contentious issue.
Government today tabled a bill to stamp out sexual harassment in the workplace. Labour Minister Dr. Esther Bayer-Suku piloted the Employment Sexual Harassment Prevention Bill of 2017 in the Senate today. The bill, which lists sexually suggestive words, comments, jokes, gestures, uninvited physical contact with a person, among other things, will allow persons to confidentially lodge complaints with the Chief Labour Officer for mediation. During her presentation, Dr. Bayer-Suku pointed out that the legislation is gender neutral, but she stressed that it does not open the pathway for regulations to make homosexuality legal.
So all of this legislation is going to come to ensure that the workplace is safe, that it is equitable, that it is fair, and that there is respect for persons in the workplace. It is about respect. It is about respecting a person as an equal. It is about respecting boundaries. And it is about respecting where somebody says no.
The Labour Minister says sexual harassment is a major concern, and she's hoping the legislation will put a stop to the practice.
There is a concern when I say gender neutral, when I speak to harassment of groups such as women, the vulnerable groups such as women, homosexual men, and lesbians and so on. There is a concern that I will hear in the public domain, oh, this is opening up the door to legalizing homosexuality and so on. That is not the aim of this legislation. That is not what this legislation is doing.
In other developments this evening, the Barbados Defence Force will begin another round of deployments to hurricane-hit Dominica tomorrow as it continues its humanitarian mission to that island. BDF members have been on the ground in Roseau since the Category 5 Hurricane Maria struck last month. Some members of the first group have been recounting their experience over the past few weeks, painting a grim picture of the situation there. They also appealed to Barbados to continue to support the hurricane victims.
Medical supplies. Those are the important stuff. Water, food, medical supplies. You get a lot of shoes and stuff. People are not interested in shoes. So you have a family and everybody hungry and you get a care package with shoes. Water, food, medical supplies. I commend the Barbadians for sending as much as they've been sending. I would like them to keep sending it, but save that stuff for later. Just send the essentials. That's what people need right now.
Police are searching for a missing St. Michael teenager. 15-year-old Jerica Patrina Aisha Matthews of Beckles Avenue, New Orleans, St. Michael, was last seen on Monday by her grandmother at home around 6 p.m. She is dark and is 5 feet 6 inches tall. She is slim, has a small nose, ears, and is fine-featured. She also has a skin condition on her arms and legs. Jakira is known to frequent blocks in the New Orleans, Reed Street, Westbury Road, and Richmond Gap. Anyone with information on her whereabouts is asked to contact Central Police Station at 439-7196 or 430-7168 or the police emergency number 211 or the nearest police station. He has entertained Barbadians for years, and now he's reaching out to citizens in a new way. Today, the 10-time Calypso King and reigning Soca monarch Red Plastic Bag officially launched his charity, the Red Foundation. It's dedicated to advancing education, relieving poverty, and providing social services to vulnerable citizens. He told the launch he is anxious to give back to a country which has supported him throughout his career.
I decided that it was high time that I start my own foundation here, surround myself with red people so that I can make a significant contribution from this end. I came from very humble beginnings, and I know what it is to struggle. I know what it is to have to share. And from going around, having done my time program a few years back and speaking to children across schools and speaking to head teachers and people involved in education especially, I've recognized that so many people out there are in need of assistance.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, touching one community at a time.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back with news from the region. In the wake of the recent devastating hurricanes across the Caribbean, Grenada is supporting Barbados' calls for a new vulnerability index to determine the region's eligibility for concessional aid. Prime Minister Frendel Stewart had appealed to the international community for such support in the aftermath of Hurricanes Irma and Maria. And last night, at the opening of the Caribbean Tourism Organization's State of the Industry Conference in Grenada, Tourism Minister Clarice Modest Kerwin echoed his sentiments. She stressed that a new index was needed to determine which countries should benefit from development support.
As small island developing states, we are extremely vulnerable to weather-related shocks. The increase in frequency and severity of hurricanes in our region sends the strong message that we can no longer ignore global warming, nor can we ignore climate change. These phenomena pose an existential threat to our economies and our peoples. We cannot deal with this threat by ourselves. In fact, brothers and sisters, while our contribution to global warming is indeed minuscule, the impact on us is severe.
And on the international scene, Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy has given Catalonia's separatist leader 5 days to say whether or not he has declared independence. If he confirms by Monday that he has, he will be given a further 3 days to withdraw the declaration. Failing that, Madrid will invoke Article 155 of the Constitution, which allows it to suspend the region's autonomy and impose direct rule. Spain has been in turmoil since the separatist government held a disputed referendum on Catalonia on October 1st, which was declared invalid by the country's constitutional court. Almost 90% of voters backed independence with a turnout of 43%.
They want to offer We want to offer clarity and safety and security to the citizens because this matter is important enough for it. Because of the decision adopted today, the government wants to offer certainty to the Spanish people, in particular to the Catalan people, and wants to avoid confusion generated by the Generalitat authorities about a matter that affects and concerns them very much.
And that's news this evening. For the very latest, you can visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Marie Claire Williams. Good evening.